Writing is a complex performance. As a motor phenomenon, it has in principle the same structure as any other motor activity, and consists of voluntary and automatized processes bound together in units. An impulse, originating in the desire to communicate in writing, is necessary to set it in motion. The child just beginning to learn to write must concentrate on each individual letter, paying maximum attention. As his skill and familiarity with language increases with practice and repetition, automatism is achieved. It is viewed as the key to writing maturity and fluency. And fluency, that characteristic of handwriting in which every successive part flows freely into what follows. As one part leads into another, and as one part arrives on what went before, the enduring whole gains distinctness and continuity. Fluent writing proceeds without gaps, mechanical mendings, or dead stops, with pauses and rest points that punctuate and diversify the course of the writing movement. There are certain fundamentals when analyzing handwriting. Pen pressure relates to the senses and to some extent reveals the vitality of the individual. The slant of an individual's handwriting will express whether his way is one of ardor, affection, reserve, or withdrawal. In the slant or slope, you discover whether the person is extroverted or introverted, leaning toward people or antisocial. The size of the writing gives us clues to the individual's manner of approaching a situation, and the kind of lens through which a person sees. The smaller the writing, the better the powers of concentration. Larger writing gives a clue to a degree of exhibitionism. Whether the lines of writing run uphill, downhill, or in both directions relates to the writer's point of view and his spirits. The width or narrowness of margins and spacing between words determine the width or narrowness of a person's mind, his aesthetic reactions, whether he is a clear or muddled thinker, and whether he is economical or extravagant. The capital letters denote taste and pride. Are they ornate, simple printed, old-fashioned, artistic? The small letters indicate the level of conformity to the rules, mental development, caution, generosity. Speed is indicative of energy. It tells you how much the person expends in the way he does things, as well as how he thinks, whether slowly or quickly. The person who thinks more quickly than his hand can record may leave out some letters or words. He writes as though recording his thoughts in shorthand. The slow thinker appears to draw every letter, so the speed, therefore, is slowed down, and he is also careful of punctuation.
Nowadays, though, there's not much distinction. As all aspects of modern life, writing is increasingly centralized on computers and electronics. So, our writing habits are no longer quite visible. The same sentence written by different people on a computer will look the same. We still have an attachment to handwriting, or at least different writing styles, as seen by the plethora of font options available to us now when we're typing. But it isn't the same, because people write differently every time they write on paper. Even our habits have discrepancies, and that is what gives our writing its character, the way it stands out from uniformity. This is like speaking. When we speak, we each have our own voice, and accent, and nuance of pronunciation, and then choice of vocabulary. So writing by hand is what shows our personality and identities. Writing is essentially speaking on paper.